For many years, an enduring thread in the tapestry of British politics has been the assumption that the Labour Party had the so-called ethnic vote stitched up. Immigrant families from the Indian subcontinent, the Caribbean and Africa would vote centre-left en bloc. But times are changing. Perhaps 1 in 4 are voting now for other parties. And there are prominent minority Conservative cabinet ministers and advisers.
I think that the Labour Party have assumed that the ethnic minority vote has always been theirs to have, and I think that's why it's come as a shock in the last few years to see that people in areas like mine in Sandwell are starting to change how they vote, and if there are no efforts to try and address this, then I think general elections in years to come could become very unpredictable.
Was it difficult coming out as a Tory?
There was no option. If I joked about voting Conservative, I was looked upon, possibly even worse than if I said I wanted to, be a drug dealer or rob a bank.
The public image of the Conservative Party has certainly changed. 20 years ago, the Tories had no ethnic minority MPs. Today, they're 22, and a record number of cabinet ministers. But are ethnic minority voters really switching to the Conservatives? Or are the political leaders of the party ahead of them? Professor Maria Sobolewska studies voter trends. She believes Labour has taken minority support for granted.
They have failed to promote their ethnic minority politicians to high office, and they have had those ethnic minority politicians available in the backbenches since the 1980s. And they don't really campaign in areas where ethnic minority voters live directly in some of these areas. So yes, Labour definitely has a lot of fault to bear here.
Back in 1987, Diane Abbott became Britain's first black female MP. She's still in Parliament and convinced her choice was the right one.
And why did you want to become an MP?
Oh, I wanted to change the world. And, if you were black in the 80s, the Labour Party was a party you joined if you wanted to change the world. And I've not regretted it.
Now on the back benches, she accepts her party hasn't matched the Tories with cabinet appointments. But she predicts any switchers are in for disappointment.
The Tories are not really going to do anything for black and brown voters en masse. So I think that the black and brown vote for the Tories has a natural point beyond which it doesn't go. How are you going to vote for people that all the time are rolling out policies which are directed against you?
As the government sets out to level up across the country, no party should take minority votes for granted. Adam Boulton, Sky News.